Yo, today we have a book insight of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And I am recording this right after the previous book insight. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It is called the Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki book insight. Quite a very informative one. Very interesting topics discussed. And I'm hoping the same will be for this video. Now, this book here, I remember reading it, and I was given when I looked online, there was quite a lot of warnings regarding you should take heed when reading this book. There's a lot of things that you should take with a grain of salt, and etc. because of how I would say how bold Robert Greene is with many of his laws, and how acquiring power is seen through his eyes. I'll say he was quite, I think bold is the best way to put it, honestly. The 48 Laws of Power draws on many of history's famous power quarrels to show you what power looks like, how you can get it, what to do to defend yourself against the power of others, and most importantly, how to use it well and keep it. So it's very centered. Of course, the title is the 48 Laws of Power. It's centered around how to kind of maneuver in an environment and how to achieve power. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Robert Greene. Yeah, definitely. Like the more you talk, the more you're at risk of saying something you shouldn't say. So in some cases, you should keep your mouth closed. And there's many statements saying if you're not gonna speak something good, just be quiet. Just don't say anything. And even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, had mentioned if you speak righteously, So very, very important one of try your best to not say foolish things. Most of the 48 laws draws on a specific situation from history, and even though some of them seem to contradict one another, there is a precious lesson to be learned from each one. And I don't remember exactly the reference I used. Hopefully it's going to be in the description. Here are three lessons. Always make superiors look smarter than you. Confuse competitors by acting unpredictably. Don't force others to do what you want. Seduce them instead. Yeah, very, very, very slick. I'll call them slick moves to acquire power, definitely. Now, moving on, what I have here on my phone, so hopefully you can see. I think that's clear. So, what I have here is a note I made. So I read this book back in 2020, along with all of these other books I've read at least like the first 14, I'll say 15, I read back in 2020. And this book here I came back to in 2022 of August to kind of refresh my memory on all the 48 laws, because when I tried to remember the book at that time, and even now when I try to remember it back then in 2022, I could not remember many of the laws. So I thought, let me go back, let me look through some summaries on YouTube and actually read the book again to kind of go over the laws and to remember which laws I liked at first, and also make a list of laws that I agreed with and didn't agree with. Because if you watch the video I posted about the importance of Islam to me, I had got on a really strong journey to Islam back in May of 2022, and this I did in August of 2022, and I looked at it with the refined eyes of one that's prioritizing Islam as to just someone who's just doing it just to do it. I was looking at it through the lens of a Muslim and seeing how many laws did I even agree with, and off the bat, so there was 48 laws, and I agreed with 22 of them, which I listed here. I could agree with 45.83%. I literally done the whole percentage. I had a 0.383%. Imagine. So I said 45.83% of the law of the 48 laws of power when it comes to my own application as a Muslim in the 21st century. Now, I'm not going to read all of the laws. but I will read some of them here. Law number 29 is plan all the way to the end. I think it's very essential to kind of have some sort of plan, whether it's a plan of the next hour, the plan of the next day, the plan of the next week, month, year, decade, some sort of time frame for any of those. Have some plan, or at least practice doing it to see how it affects you, because it's helped me a lot of keeping a track of things and knowing what I need to accomplish, and also having a way to measure the things that I've achieved and not achieved. So I definitely advocate planning things, and even in this regard to this extreme of plan all the way to the end, because even if it's almost a shoot for the isn't it aim for the moon and shoot for the stars? Well, I don't know the what's it called, the quote, but it's a very extreme plan all the way to the end. But if you fall short, at least you planned, Law number 1, which I should have actually started off with, is never outshine the master. And this is in regards to if you're working a job or you're in a certain environment where you could outshine a boss or a CEO or someone who's in a higher position than you. Understanding that in human psychology, sometimes that when you outshine people, they envy you and become jealous of you, and in the end they'll try to take you down because of you're the threat that you propose to them, that you pose to them. So in certain circumstances, it's best to use your wisdom at that time and to sort of let them outshine you for your greater purpose of doing great things later down the line. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Law number 30. I think this is great, because on the other end of this is to kind of brag and be excessive in your bragging and boasting about the things you've done. And no one really likes boasters and braggers. Boasters and braggers, they cause controversy. They are annoying. They're this and that. It's better sometimes in a lot of cases to kind of just kind of brush it off and not be a boaster, really. Get others to play with the cards you deal. And this is one thing I've seen, for example, when I've seen Muslim debates, and they mention that the Muslims shouldn't argue on their playing fields. And I've also seen this in other avenues of negotiations in regards to business. When I was in the trading business a few years ago, how you shouldn't negotiate a price when the price that they offer you, and focus on their premise. You should really focus on how you can flip the table to your side, and how they can come down to your side. They can come to your level in regards to the negotiation. You don't have to be the B side. You can be the A side, and this can be applied in many other facets. So sometimes you should focus on how you can make the person let's just call it, how can you make the opposition in this, it's not really opposition, but how can you make the opposition play on your playing field and your playground? How can you approach it and have that become the outcome of the situation? Number 4, similar to sort of the quote, always say less than necessary. Don't talk too much. Yeah, very, very insightful one. Law number 5, so much depends on repetition. Guard it with your life. On reputation, sorry. Yeah, so it's we will get into this topic when I go over the John book. It's called Contagious. John's book is a very great book, and one of the first thing he goes over is social currency, and how social currency is vital, and how much we view life through the lens of social currency. So in this sense, make sure you are wary of your reputation and try to keep it intact. Isolation is dangerous. Law number 18. I should listen to this because I've been the past 4 years, although I've done so much insightful things, introspective, and I've learned more about myself and the world. I've gone through many phases of isolation and deprived myself of a lot of social interaction. So it's one I should definitely take heed of. Law number 19: do not offend the wrong person. You know, this reminded me of when I had there was a Christmas lunch going on with the company I worked at, and I walked into the kitchen, and the first person that greeted me was a guy I'd never seen before, and he said, "Hey Sammy, how you doing? How's everything going with like work and this and that?" And he was quite energetic. He said, "How you doing? How's everything going?" And I was like to him, "It's going good. Who are you, by the way?" And everyone in the room laughed, and I was confused. Why is everyone laughing? It's an actual question. Who is this guy? And it turned out that was the managing director of the company. So, and that was unintentional, and I did apologize for kind of being informal about the way I asked him. I was almost like, "Who the hell are you?" But sometimes, yeah, if you offend the wrong person, it can be very bad. And on the other side is that if you always treat everyone with respect, you will find later on down the line that sometimes that those people that you treated with respect that you didn't know if you would meet later on, they happen to be the people that help you, or are leaning to help you because of how you treated them when you first met them. And that happened to me when I moved departments. Many of the people that assisted me to move departments were people that I met and just treated them with respect and was nice to them, even though I didn't know if we would ever meet again. But it turns out they were the people that helped me with something that was very important to me. Master the art of timing. Law number 35, very important. Law number 33, it's quite a funny one. Discover each man's thumbscrew. So I would say this is each person's last straw. Discover what their last straw is and what can tick them off. And this could be quite a slick way, and how you use that, I don't know how you're going to use it, but that is one of the laws. Law number 28: interaction with boldness. And I mentioned one word for Robert Greene, and that is bold. He's very bold with his statements and the way he sets across his points. And it's no coincidence that boldness is mentioned here. I think I'll do two more. Law number 46: never appear too perfect. And this can be because of two things. It helps you not be too invested in the idea of perfectionism and allow that to become a resistance for your success and your way of communicating. Number two, people don't like perfect people. If you find someone, for example, there's a person who's perfect, the people around that person the person appears to be perfect, and the people around that person will become frustrated in the fact that that person has no flaws, that they will start to deliberately look for that person's flaws, and they will collaborate with each other to find that person's flaws and to kind of find their crack, and he becomes a target of that envy and jealousy, and it can become quite a threatening thing for that person appearing to be perfect. So you should just, don't be too invested in perfectionism, and don't be wary of the threat it poses to others, to yourself. Number 47, and this will be the last one I do. There's many more I could have done, but I thought I'd keep it a bit short on the aspect here, because this is just an insight. Law number 47: in victory, learn when to stop. Learn when to stop. Yeah, learn when to stop. I think this can be seen in the lens of when you win. For example, when you win in a game against someone, don't overboast. Don't be too in their face about it, because again, like they'll become a barrier between the both of you. Envy and jealousy gets involved, and the devil starts to make you guys fight over matters. So in victory, try to be more humble and and don't overboast. These were just a few of the 22 laws that I agreed with, and yeah, Robert does get across many great points. Definitely a great author. You can see through how successful his works are and how many people he's affected and how many lives he's improved. So definitely a book you should check out and see. Do you agree with Robert's points? Is it something that you really feel invested in? Is it something you disagree with? Find out for yourself. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Robert Greene's books, and not even just the 48 Laws of Power. I've gone over the Mastery book and the 50th Law, so I've gone over 3 Robert Greene books. Let me know what you guys think about Robert Greene as a person. Does he inspire you? Is there any points that I haven't mentioned that you feel like you wish I could have brought across? If not, you can bring it across too. So I look forward to seeing that below. Thank you for watching.